Mr. Bengs, thank you very much for being here. You ran for Senate in 2022 as a Democrat, but this year you're running as an independent. Are you really an independent or worried about the Democratic brand in your state?
Well, I'm actually worried about good government. I registered as an independent when I turned 18. So back when George H.W. Bush was first running for president, and I registered as a Democrat to run as a Democrat when I saw that the party was setting up to let John Thune, the current majority leader or the United States Senate, just coast to re-election, seemingly with no competitor. So I thought somebody had to do something, and I was somebody, and I took the reins.
But you are running with the backing of the Democratic Party, which helped push out your former Democratic rival. Does that cause any suspicion among voters about what side you align with?
Well, Mike Rounds is going to try to portray me as a Democrat, and I would note that I'm not running with the backing of the Democratic Party in the sense that they have formally endorsed me. They have declined to endorse me. So there's plenty of Democrats that are unhappy with me because, as you point out, like, oh, you were a Democrat. I was an independent in disguise. Mike Rounds is going to try to label me a Democrat in disguise, but I've been an independent with the exception of the 13 months that I registered to run as the Democratic nominee. Learned quite a bit then, and am more confident than ever that independent is the answer to fixing what ails America.
I mean, you are one of several candidates in the Midwest and the West running as an independent, and you say that you hope to deny a majority to either party. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, because the Senate is so closely divided between Team Red and Team Blue, if you can get just a handful of independents in there that denies either team a majority, then we become the fulcrum through which, if you want to move anything through the Senate, you're going to need us. And there's going to be a price for that. And we want good government reforms. For example, a national ban on gerrymandering would be something that we would pursue. But the other opportunity would be if Team Red and Team Blue would work together, which they will not do. They could bypass this, but that would be a win unto itself.
So you're saying if Democrats narrowly won the majority, you would not caucus with them?
No, I plan to caucus with the independents, and right now I'm not planning to vote for majority leader for either John Thune or Chuck Schumer because at this point I'll probably vote for Dan Osborn.
But that means that you would give up your committee seats potentially as well. Is that an argument that you have to make to South Dakota voters that this could effectively water down their representation in the state?
No, I'm actually going to water up their representation in the state, to turn a phrase again, by virtue of if we get multiple independents into the United States Senate, we become the power block. So it is a new concept that we're trying to sell here. And if I was just running by myself and me alone as an independent, yes, you would be right. But because there are more, and I anticipate more of us will be elected, then we become the power block.
Obviously, in a state like South Dakota, which I think President Trump won by 63% or so, there are a lot of Republicans there. To win, you clearly need to win over some of these Republican voters. Why would they back you over Senator Mike Rounds? And is it frustration with Trump policies that you are hoping for to win over some of that support?
Well, my big focus from the start has been on the corruption of our government, big money controlling our politics. And so when I go out and I talk to people and I say, I ask them, do you think our government is functioning as the founders intended, as the Constitution is designed? And typically they're going to chuckle and then they say no. And then I'm able to engage them with the conversation. Do you think big money is controlling our elected officials in the sense that they're doing what people who write them large checks want more so than us lowly voters? And basically, to a person, of the thousands of people I've talked to, left, right, in the middle, everybody agrees that's a problem. And I'm billing myself as a Teddy Roosevelt Republican, old school Republican who believes in busting up corporate monopolies, getting big money out of politics, and having billionaires pay a higher tax rate than their secretaries. And people agree with me on that, left, right, middle.
You also have a long record of military service here in the U.S. Air Force and the Navy as well. Moving to foreign affairs here, do you believe the Iran war is winnable?
Well, I'll preface this by saying that the war should not have taken place. But at this point, the way we got into this without Congress voting, using their authority to declare war or to declare authorize a military action, then we've kind of handicapped ourselves going into it. So could it be won? Ultimately, but the price you're going to pay if you want to win it, again, we don't know what the definition is of winning. That's the biggest problem. That would have been fleshed out in advance if Congress had done its job. But the price that we're going to pay in blood and treasure to win what I assume is the goal here, uh, I don't think we're willing to pay that. The American people are willing to pay that. So when you haven't sold the war in advance, the objectives and what the end game is, then no, I don't think so.
You also have talked a lot about data centers. Do you support a moratorium on building new data centers in South Dakota?
Well, I've come out strong against data centers. I would not want one within 2-3 miles of my house, certainly. And I know a lot of people don't, but I don't necessarily want to stand in the way of if a local community wants a data center, as long as there's a popular vote that says, yes, we welcome it, I would support it. But short of that, yeah, I'm not going to be supportive. So I'm going to join the governor of Texas in saying, yeah, maybe we should put a hold on this.
And I just have to ask you, since you were born in Iowa, you live in South Dakota right now. I mean, back in the day, not that long ago, Democrats had a senator from Iowa, from North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, my home state as well. What has happened to the Democratic brand as you talk to voters out there? And do you believe that things have changed forever? Is this a phenomenon in the Trump era? What's your assessment of that?
I would say modern media environment. So my experience, well, going back to 2022, I would walk up to people wearing Trump hats. I knew what the end was going to be, but it was at least entertaining to do it. So engaging South Dakota voters, coming up to them and saying, hey, I'm going to guarantee with 100% certainty that you and I will agree on at least 2, but probably 3 big things. And then I'd run down my list, boom, boom, boom. Typically it was all 3. We get to the end and I say, can I count on your vote in November? And the first words out of their mouth were, so what are you? And then when you say, well, I'm a lifelong independent, but I'm running as a Democrat, I'll never vote for a Democrat, sometimes with an expletive in there. And that was it. We had just agreed and had a good conversation on big issues. And then they did not want to talk to me anymore and said, I will not support you because of the letter beside your name. That is the problem.